Hey there, my name is Alicia Stratman, and I am the 4-H coordinator here in Cache County. And one of my roles is to ensure our clubs have career and college readiness as part of their club. So the whole purpose of 4-H, as we should know, is not to make money. It's not to win prizes, although fun competition and being rewarded for our hard work is exciting. 4-H is more than that. It's about raising capable youth that know how to function as adults. So this presentation is specifically geared to our youth and market livestock projects, but honestly, the principles are the same no matter what project area you are in. So what we're going to talk about today is why we need to keep records, how to keep the records, and what the new 4-H portfolio is. So as many of you know, in 2020, we actually switched from the old record-keeping binder portfolio system to the newer one that enables kids to be more prepared to fill out resumes and other applications. So if after the end of this you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any of your questions and to help you along in this record-keeping portfolio journey. So what's the point of keeping records? Why do we do it? Record keeping is still a vital skill to have in adulthood, whether you start a career, go to college, or volunteer, or just travel. So no matter your path in life, having the ability to keep track of information is super, super important. We keep records in order to learn how to set goals, make a plan of action, and then decide how well you did. It helps us to stay organized for now and in the future. And it also helps us to communicate and summarize things. So for instance, if I'm filling out a resume for a job and I did a whole bunch of different tasks at this job, I need to be able to summarize them in a couple words or less. It also helps us to learn responsibility to complete a requirement. In order to get your livestock check, you have to turn in a portfolio. There's no other way around it. We won't give out checks unless we get those portfolios. It also helps you to evaluate your information that will be market your personal skills through future resumes and other application forms. So not only like job applications and scholarships, but also if you're going to buy a car or buy a house, you need to know how to keep track of your records. So I put this picture here of this cute little pig because that's the kind of livestock I raised for a few years. But when you're keeping track of records, here are a few things to consider. So consider keeping track of how much you paid for the animal, how much it weighs, how much food is given, how much you spent on supplies. Maybe write down like your learning experiencing, like the things you're experiencing in club meetings or working with your animal, those kind of things. Because the more information you have, the easier it is when you go to make your resume and make it seem concise while also sharing enough information. So we suggest starting now to keep your records for market project. It's a lot easier to keep track over time and to do small things every day than trying to remember the things when it comes down to write the portfolio contest. So I remember as a kid getting my record book, and this was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago when we had to write the project sheets. And I just remember my dad helping me, and we just had to guess on how much. And honestly, that's not how you should be doing record keeping. You should be doing it throughout the summer and constantly be checking in to make sure you're on top of things. So there's a few ways to keep records. You can do it in a physical notebook. You can do it on a Google Doc online. You can do it on like your phone. Like if you set up an audio recording on your phone, you can do that. Or you can download the Utah 4-H state website has a really good worksheet that you can use to keep track of all the things that I mentioned before. So again, that website is utah4h.org, and then just use quick links to find portfolios. All right, so your resume is part of your portfolio, and it should include things like your 4-H project involvement. So if you have multiple project areas that you're doing, then you should write down things that you did in each of those. So your hog project, maybe you did some cooking, maybe you did community service project where you like organize something, you put it there. Your 4-H activities should show that you are active in the 4-H program in your community as a whole. So attending club meetings, going to a fundraiser, those things. And it should reflect age-appropriate involvement in activities. Obviously, a third grader just barely starting out is going to be way different in their activities than a senior who has been doing 4-H for 10 years. So make sure that you explain activities and experiences in detail. 4-H should be used in descriptions where appropriate. The 4-H awards and recognition include any contests and awards you have completed. So awards should show age-appropriate progression. That can be awards that you got at the fair, at a county contest, those kind of things. Then you need to have your 4-H leadership experience that shows your responsibilities in different leadership positions. Again, it should show age progression. And then explain with your 4-H community service. These are things that you did as a 4-H club, not outside of 4-H, to serve the community around you. And then last is obviously your non-4-H experience. Just like, what did you accomplish that you felt like is worthy to put on this resume? So whether that's with your church group or maybe you did something with your family, just making sure that it's added on there so you get credit for it. Now, if you go through your resume at the end of the year and you realize, like, I have no service or I don't have any leadership, let's chat. And club leaders should be allowing and giving you opportunities to do these. But if there aren't, then we can also talk to them about how can we include more leadership opportunities in this club. And I'm happy to come out and help your club with that. So this is an example of a very well-written resume. Now, obviously, if your child is in their first year of 4-H, it's not going to look like this. But this just gives you an idea. You can see on there the 4 different types of projects they're involved in and how it's progressed. So you can see on there, there's 2014 and 2016 projects, their awards, their community service. So you really want to keep this resume to under 2 years. What we want to see is that they have kept really good records throughout their 4-H experience and that they have really involved themselves in the 4-H projects. So then the next section of your portfolio will be called the cover letter. Now, depending on the contest or the thing you're applying for, the cover letter objectives will change. They should be sent in with the resume to include additional information and skills and experiences. So if you can't fit it on your resume in a bullet point type of writing, put it in your cover letter, summarize what you've learned. These objectives that are here on the screen, you can see are year-end objectives. So they're the ones that your 4-Hers should be able to write about. Again, if you want help writing it, please contact me. I love writing these things, and I think it's really important for us to teach kids how to write properly when filling out these kind of applications and forms. So here's an example. Again, this is a very long one because this person's a senior, but let your child write out their story. And kids, don't copy and paste from your siblings. We had 4 or 5 of those one year where it was very obvious that every family or every sibling in the family took it off of their sibling's paper. So please don't do that. That's cheating, and cheating is not okay in this 4-H program. These examples are all online at utah4h.org. If you have any more questions, you can turn there. So the big question is okay, now what? We've learned a ton. I've just barely skimmed the surface on what these are. But if you want more in-depth information, you can reach out to me. But obviously, you're going to turn it in. You're going to put it in our county contest, the state contest, their state leadership positions. And you'll also have a really good resume and cover letter skills for future jobs. And eventually you can turn your 4-H experience into applicable skills for a job that show how you can keep track of things, you can manage your time wisely, you can pay attention to detail, and look better when applying for other things outside of 4-H. So here's the website again. It's just extension.usu.edu/Utah4H or 4h.org, whichever you can remember. Download the record keeping worksheet and get examples. And then, of course, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. There's my email. I'm Alicia, or you can just call the 4-H office and ask for me. I'd be happy to come out to your club, to your house, to get one-on-one with you to really get into your resume and portfolio, because this is a crucial skill that we really want to make sure that the kids in our county understand. So anyway, thank you for watching this, and let me know if you have any questions. See ya.